Hi there, everybody. In the spirit of support and sharing, I wanted to hop on and share some ideas I have about how I am avoiding the snack all the time monster and avoiding that food prison is my best word I have for it, because that's how bad it feels to me. I have no other way to explain it other than to ask you, how are you doing with your meals and snacks? How are you feeling about your eating? And here, I know, big picture, right now there's some of us who have too much food and we're overeating and it's hurting us mentally and physically. And there's some of us who don't have enough food and it's hurting us mentally and physically. So I am so grateful to everyone doing what they can to help those of us who don't have enough food. I have some amazing high school friend who's a teacher where I used to teach, and she's helping so much to get kiddos the food they need. So here's what I thought I can help with. Here are the strategies I'm using as a chronic overeater, a lifelong all-day snacker, to not be doing that right now, because I know the mental and physical pain that comes from overeating. I have struggled with it all my life, and not until a year and a half ago when I learned to use intermittent fasting balanced with macro tracking in the fastest way to fat loss have I had food freedom and not been addicted to overeating and constant eating and emotional eating and boredom eating, which I know has plaguing a lot of us right now. I've even felt myself wanting to do it 2-3 weeks ago when the stress really started to mount. I shared with my Fast Away clients at the time, and my Fast Away clients in membership, for the first time in like a year, I've been feeling the need to eat due to stress. Fasting helps you let go of that. The hormones that get released to tell you you're hungry or to have cravings all kind of balance out and diminish the longer you use intermittent fasting. But the stress wonder now, things are changing. So I really started to dig into the strategies and really look at the strategies I had in place that were supporting me, and started sharing them with my clients. And I wanted to hop on and share them with you too. So first of all, I really try to come from the belief that food is fuel. And I am so appreciative to have enough. I know, because there was a time in life when I did not have enough food. I had moved to California and was really dedicated to being on my own. We didn't have enough food to not be hungry. So I know that pain. But I also know having too much causes pain. So I try to remember food is fuel. I'm so grateful to have it, and I'm using it to serve my body to be well now. And then coming from there, everything else can fall into place. So I also remember that when I set up a weekly meal plan for dinners, and when I track my nutrition using my fitness pal like we do in the Fast Way to Fat Loss, like you've heard me talk about before, I have targets and I have plans and I can stick to them, and they are really supporting my family and I in having regular meal times. So even if you're not macro tracking and have that target to keep you on some rails daily, and even if you don't meal plan, you can still do this next step. The macro tracking and meal planning would help you. Have regular meal times. Plan it out. It is so good for you and your kiddos. It will help so much. And you don't always have to be this rigid, but right now we're being a little rigid around my house, because when we have meal and snack times in place, we avoid a lot of other problems. We have to be a little more mindful about what we choose at those times, because I say, you know what, the kitchen's closed. Otherwise, we're not coming back in here until the next eating time. And no matter what, the kitchen's closing at 7 o'clock tonight. Then I'm not constantly cleaning. We're not constantly snacking and eating and grazing, which does not serve us. It may seem like a slight comfort at the time, but it isn't. And you know that if you're a chronic overeater, you know that it doesn't bring you comfort. So we have these set meal times and snack times. And again, they're a little different. They're not exactly what I would want them to be, but because of needing to be at home and working in my kids' school schedules and all of those things, we have set up some eating times and we're sticking to them and doing no exceptions. So again, kitchen stays cleaner. We're not wasting food. We're saving money, and we're making ourselves be mindful about the food choices we're making during those meal times. Now, to help that happen, I've been having my kids pack their lunches in little divided containers and after dinners, Monday through Friday, best we can, Doesn't have to be perfect, but that step has really helped for them, their lunchtime is about noon. For that, packing that lunch the night before after dinner, lots of leftovers from dinner in there, has really helped that noontime go better, because then no one's standing in front of the fridge saying, I'm hungry, but I don't want to eat any of this food. And a lot of arguing and hard decisions or bad, quote unquote, bad decisions around food could happen there, but they're prevented with that packing the lunch the night before. It's surprisingly going really well. I was really surprised by how well that step went. So thank you to my Fast Away VIP client, who is a fantastic meal prepper, who suggested to me that she's doing that, and I started doing it. And then I said, if I'm doing it, it's working for me. I'm making great meal choices at lunchtime. Let's do this for my kids too. That's working great. What does help is I do meal plan dinners, and I make double batches of dinner. So we always have leftovers available for lunches. That really serves us all right now. And then the kiddos can just pack leftovers and a little something else. And lunch is at our time. We get our lunch, we move on with life. So I really highly recommend just picking some meal and snack times and sticking to them, and say, otherwise we're not in the kitchen. And when we're in the kitchen, we're eating only. We're not doing the homework in the kitchen, really anything else but meal times. And we're not taking food out of the kitchen. And again, I am not always going to be like this in the rest of our days, but right now, this is an unusual time, and the structure is really helping. So we're only eating in the kitchen, and we're not taking food out of the kitchen. Has been another really big helpful piece for avoiding mindless eating, is I think the best words I have for it. Okay, so let me see what else. Oh, okay. So again, in the kind of like planning ahead and preparing the environment idea, I am not buying food that doesn't serve us. I'm not doing it. I would love to get a whole bunch of comfort food and treats and snacks, right? But again, that would be a short-term comfort. And very soon we would all be very unwell from it. And who knows how long this period is going to last. So let's just not go there. So I'm not buying food that doesn't serve us. Instead, what we're doing is looking for snacks that are fantastic. And yeah, they can be hard to come by, but we found a few. I'll share them in a second. And also, we're saving treats for treat day, which is a skill I learned in the Fast Away to Fat Loss, and we've been practicing it. Oh, everyone's knocking at the door. But let me finish these last few ideas. We have been practicing treat day for like a year and a half since I've been in the Fast Away that long, so we have that advantage here. My family's used to me saying, we don't do a ton of added sugar during the week. You guys, the recommendation for your kids your age, so anyone under 18, is less than 6 teaspoons of added sugar a day. You had your chocolate milk, you're done. So that's what we work on, that if we're going to have treats, if we're going to have that stuff, we're going to buy it in a single serving on Saturday. So right now, our ice cream shop still will scoop ice cream cones. Last week, we sent my husband up there, and he went in and got them and brought them outside, and we were able to walk and keep social distance. We'll see if that's still a good thing to recommend to do. But usually I would say get an ice cream cone. Don't buy a pint of ice cream. Single servings, go get it on Saturday, be done. And then you don't have to put yourself in a position where you or your kids are going to be using food in a way that doesn't serve you. Also on treat day, this past treat day, I made my own treat. And I said, okay, I'm going to make a half batch instead of the regular amount, because this is going to make too many treats, and it will turn into me eating treats not on treat day, and then I won't feel well. And it'll turn into my kids asking me all day long if they can have the leftover treats. So I just cut that treat. It was amazing cookie dough skillet cookie. If you didn't get the recipe, I might even put it in the comments here. It's how good it is. Just made half a batch, and we ate it all on treat day. Done, good to go. And let me think if there's anything. Oh, last but not least tip for not being plagued by how bad overeating can make you feel when you have too much food. We've got plans in place and activities in place and a schedule even at this point, almost. This is my first week of school at home. So that when boredom hunger happens, because it just does, you guys, boredom hunger, stress hunger, emotional hunger, we can stop it before it turns into boredom eating, right? There's that place where we can say, okay, this is boredom hunger. Like, we had our meals, we've hit our macros, there's no reason we should be eating. this hunger is coming from the wrong kind of signal. Something else is going on. Let's go do an activity that we've got planned for this exact situation. So jigsaw puzzle on the dining room table. In their school, there are optional activities that they can do. So interesting projects, like a nature journal. We can go on a walk. We can scooter up and down the street once. They can run around the house once. Like we've got a long list of ideas waiting, so that we're all training ourselves that we can be mindful and make choices. We always have a choice about what we're going to do when it comes to that hunger, boredom hunger happening, and we always have a choice about how we're going to handle it, so that we're eating mindfully, which is what serves us with wellness. And when we consistently keep doing that, we are going to keep our immunity up. We are going to keep our mood up. We're going to keep our positive mindset. We're going to have food freedom. And that feels amazing. As someone who has never had it all her life, and I have it now, I'm fighting hard to keep that food freedom, because it is an amazing, powerful tool. And I want my family to have it too. Because as I've been living the Pastorate, they've kind of been along for the ride since I do most of the cooking. And so they have it too. And I don't want any of us to not have it. And I want you to have it too. So hopefully some of these tips will help you. I tried to spell them all out in the written post as well. And last but not least, I have to say, all of these things I have listed have happened to me because I've learned intermittent fasting, balance with whole food nutrition within the Faster Way to Fat Loss program. I probably have heard me share before, I am a client of the Faster Way, and I have had such success and love the program so much I became a coach. And my next group that I will coach through the Faster Way will begin this coming Monday, April 6th. And we work together for 6 weeks, and this is what we do. Just what we were doing right here, this is the Faster Way. Intermittent fasting and learning to be mindful about your food so that you can be well inside and out and just feel better than you probably ever imagined possible. At least that's what was true for me. So have a fantastic afternoon. If you have any tips about how you are staying mindful and making food choices that serve you, pop them in the comments, and we will keep getting better and better together through these coming weeks. All right, check in with y'all soon.